So Liz Cheney said in an interview that Donald Trump is the single greatest threat to our country, that he cannot be the president again. And then she went on to say, if he is, all the things he attempted to do but was stopped from doing by responsible people around him at the Department of Justice, at the White House counsel office, all of those things he will do, there will be no guardrails. And then when she's asked if she would consider voting for Joe Biden, she said, well, we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. Because turns out she herself is considering a presidential run in 2024. When she was asked, would you rule out running for president? She said, I can't rule that out. So just when you think that you have a sensible Republican on the other side of the aisle that actually cares about democracy, you realize that you have someone that's just there to play politics. Because Liz Cheney is the one that showed us how the events of January 6th all played out. She sat on the vice chair. She showed us how the events of that day all played out, how the events leading up to that day played out. She showed us how that Donald Trump knew he lost the election and tried to overturn it anyway. She showed us all of those things, and she says that she realizes he's the single greatest threat to our country, but then when it comes right down to it, she can't say she would vote for Joe Biden because she herself might throw her name in there. She might consider a run. Now, let's be realistic for a minute. This is not your typical dumbass MAGA Republican, okay? This isn't Lauren Boebert. This isn't Marjorie Taylor Greene. Liz Cheney is a very smart person. And she is a very skilled politician, whether you agree with her or not. She is very intelligent. She's very skilled at what she does. She has to know that her running for president in 2024 is not a good idea. And she has to know that she would have no chance of winning. She has to know that. All a third party, fourth party, fifth party, all that's going to do at this point in the game is muddy the water. Joe Biden needs to connect with independent voters. So does Donald Trump. What is Donald Trump doing right now to win over independents? He's only talking about himself. He's not doing a thing to reach across the aisle and appease anybody or appeal to anybody that's a moderate or an independent. Joe Biden needs those people. Now, let's say Liz Cheney came in and a lot of those people started leaning toward her. That's going to hurt Joe Biden. She has to know that. She has to be smart enough to know that. If some little old hillbilly sitting in a Dollar General lawn chair can point that out to you, then I can assure you that Liz Cheney knows that too. But she's playing politics with this moment. She's throwing her name out there and she's playing politics with a moment where she says he's the single biggest threat. If she truly believed that, she would do everything she could to ensure that he never got back in office again, even if it meant going to the other side of the aisle and voting for Joe Biden. I would have much more respect for Liz Cheney if she would have said, you know what, I'm going to go to the other side of the aisle here. I'm going to vote for Joe Biden, and I would encourage other Republicans to do so because we have to save democracy first. And then once we've done that, in 2028, I may consider running myself. I may consider trying to bring back some common sense and some decency to the Republican Party. Had she said that, then I could have got on board with that and said, okay, that's cool. But no, that's not what she did at all. She sat here and she played politics with a very important moment in our American history. And for those of you out there that are sleeping on this one, that are resting on your laurels, that are not paying attention to what's going on around you, I know it really gets under your skin when I say there's not both sides to this. I know it gets under your skin when I tell you that, this whole idea that both parties are the same. I shoot that down every time. I know it gets under a lot of your all's skin. But what we have right now is we have a Democratic Party over here that, no, it's not perfect. I never said that it was. The Democratic Party needs a lot of work. But the opposition over here is trying its best to spiral our country towards a dictatorship. They're trying their best to spiral our country towards a totalitarian government, and it's not even close. That's why I can't entertain this idea that, well, both sides they're all bad, buddy. But this type of rhetoric from Liz Cheney only empowers that type of thinking. There are people who are going to sit back on the ropes down and say, see, everybody, I told you, they're all in it together, man. They don't care. That type of thinking from Liz Cheney only empowers that type of thinking. And now is not the time to be playing politics. Now is the time to be standing on the side of truth and on the side of democracy and standing up against this very dangerous ideology that is coming at us full speed. That's what we need to be standing up against. Instead, Liz Cheney took this moment in American history to play politics. Let's be realistic for a minute. A second Donald Trump presidency would not affect Liz Cheney personally at all. Hell, she'd get a tax break out of the deal, and for the next 4 years, she would be able to sit and position herself as the sensible, reasonable Republican that if you'll just elect me, I'll do away with all the insanity that is Donald Trump. She would be sitting there for the next 4 years positioning herself for 2028. But what I will remember is that at this time in American history, she decided to play politics with it. And that's why we all need to remember that at the end of the day, we need to stop giving Liz Cheney these passes. I've said good things about her before. When I've agreed with her, I've said it out loud. I agree with Liz Cheney. She's 100% right. And she is 100% right that Donald Trump is the single most dangerous threat to our country. She's right that he cannot be president again. And she's right when she says that he will do all of the things he tried to do the first time, he'll do it the second time. She's right about all of that. But where she loses me is when she plays politics at this crucial moment in American history.